Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Little King story playthrough. It is time to take on the Primetime Kingdom. It's going to be bloody amazing. Bloody crazy. Completely nuts. It's probably not going to make much sense, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. Because I mean, this is... The game gets very weird. You've probably already noticed that it's getting weird, because obviously the UFOs and all that jazz, but it's going to get even weirder. Because we're going to start... Well, it's the Primetime Kingdom, so it's all to do with TVs and broadcasting, and it's just so bizarre. It really is. And I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's just bonkers. Right, so we've got our second merchant now. I think we need to do that quick equipping everybody thing. Because obviously some people have got under 9 health that don't really want that to happen. Oh, legendary dress is +7. I knew it was something quite high. There is something at some point which gives us a +10, but we might not get that for maybe a little while yet. Yeah, at this point it's just like, try and get tactical about how you're giving your items out. If someone's got less health than some of your other citizens, then it's probably a good idea to give them a thing that will give them a lot more health. Sometimes it's maybe not necessarily entirely worth it, but you kind of want to be giving them whatever is better suited to them, really. And having something is definitely better than having nothing. So, it takes a while to go through all of this, but it is entirely worth it in the end, because you end up having a much stronger team because of it. Because at this point, even some of your farmers could cause a bit of damage, and you kind of want to take every opportunity you can get. Now, I don't think I've used the legendary bow at all, so someone better be damn well getting that. Okay, good. I have used it, because obviously that's quite a powerful bow. Definitely want to be making use of it. Don't think we actually have any other bows to play about with, which is a shame, so I think the rest of it is just health stuff until we completely run out. And obviously by the end of the game you will have more than enough equipment to give to all of your soldiers. I mean, even now we have more than enough, because we have only a team of 30 and we have 38 items. But obviously quite a few of those are repeats in the term of, well, with the hand warmers, and also the... is it Viper sticker or something along those lines? So there's a variety of things that you can just like, okay. So, I know really we probably should have just gone taking on the day, but I think I just wanted to start anew. Make sure everyone was rested up before we headed off. Because it's going to be a long day. You've probably already noticed, it's going to be a long day. Right, this is 30 minutes. I'm sitting here bracing myself for the long haul of commentary. But it's fine, because there's actually quite a lot of fun stuff to talk about when it comes to the Primetime Kingdom. Not necessarily in terms of content or anything. Like, I think there's probably very little, actually. but still, it's all stuff that will keep me talking, and that's the most important thing, I suppose. Obviously, really annoyingly, we left the area and now a lot of enemies turn back up and just like, oh, god damn it. I thought I'd have a nice free run to the kingdom, but nope. The game couldn't allow me to have that, could it? And, oh! There's an enemy I wasn't expecting to see. This is a new UMA. As I said, it can be quite deadly, and this is a Pika Death. And I think one hit from its axe, or its scythe, can kill you. So I got incredibly lucky right there. Incredibly lucky. Because he could have just completely obliterated most of my team, which would have been frustrating. Anyway, special debate program, an all-day, all-out battle royale. Brought to you via satellite, world-famous king of TV's TV Dinnah. I'm sure you can figure out the pun for yourselves. But yes, there is a TV here, and oh, hello, Pancho. What is it, mate? Letter of reminder. The Kingdom of Ape Poco. You're behind in broadcast payments. Thanks for that, mate. If you can't pay the fees, you will be forced to volunteer as an extra on set among the 256 participants. We will have a drawing to have one person's broadcast fees waived. Ooh! I think we're going to have to enter that competition, aren't we? I mean, obviously, most of the times when you enter a TV competition, absolutely nothing comes of it. But this is going to be quite a fun one, I suspect. Although, guys, we're getting dragged in. Yeah, I don't think you're quite fast enough to escape that. Oh, this is going to become a pain, isn't it? It's also going to become very weird. So, here we are in the Primetime Kingdom, and I really love this song. Oh my god, it's great. So I believe that specifically this is Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, and I'm pretty sure that it basically just plays throughout the entirety of this kingdom, even in the boss fight. This is... Rhapsody in Blue is the song of this entire section of the game, and I really like it as a rendition of the song. It's just a lot of fun. It's got that techno-y vibe, and there's just something really upbeat and fun about it. Obviously there's this whole maze thing, which can be a little bit of a pain, because each TV will lead to a different platform. Sometimes it's possible to get lost. Your soldiers are all littered about the area, and I believe it is random as to who ends up where. So you may have to go back on yourself to get things if you're not careful, or at least if you aren't lucky with who turns up where. But it is a fun little section, and I find it absolutely fascinating. I mean, particularly because you get the really cool TV effects, and it is a very nifty way, actually, of avoiding getting hit, because if you run into the damn thing, then you aren't going to get hurt if you do it before anything actually happens to you, because the transition is instantaneous. You're going to want to try and kill as many of these Onis as possible. Some of them you're not really going to be able to do much about, but if you can kill most of them, you should be alright, really. And Oh, thankfully we managed to make it through that. All right. Oh no, wait, I realised I was talking either yesterday, well, last part, or earlier in this part, that we had 30 people. No, we don't have 30 just yet, we're still on 23. Ooh, that's embarrassing, I thought we were at 30. Believe that actually turns up either after beating the king of this kingdom, or it turns up after beating the king of the next kingdom. It will turn up eventually, and quite soon, but we've still got a little bit of a ways to go before then. Now, obviously, as you can see, that is an Oni that we can't defeat ourselves, which is a pain. Well, we can, because we just use hunters and do it that way, but it's having to use hunters, and obviously we don't really get anything out of it, so that's just like, oh, I would have liked to have gotten something from defeating him, but oh well, it's fine. Now, the ones that lead to a single location are probably the ones that are most frustrating to find, but I think as long as you just go through every single TV, maybe keep a note on which TVs you have gone to, and then you should be okay. Or have a map, that potentially will help you as well, but it can be a little bit like, I don't know where I'm going. So obviously I've got, oh, that was the TV that I was looking for to get up here, and I believe that actually that is every single member of our team that we can pick up. Oh, Santos. Bloody staying up there, you bloody lazy bugger. Because the final 3 members of our team are located at the end of the maze. So that worked out great for us. And already we are at the God Memo. So we just need to beat him to win. He's hiding out in studios all over the world and we've got to find them. So this is why you need merchants, because you need to find holes, and you need farmers because you need to dig up those holes. And I mean, this is going to be a really ridiculous fight. Like, completely insane. So, live fight until morning. So, as you can see, this is a map of the world, and what you are going to want to do, you don't have to do it, but it'll help you if you are not necessarily aware of the world, and also reading these bits and bobs is going to prove very useful to you in the actual fight itself. Even TV Dinnah knows the wonders of the BBC. So obviously they are countries all over the world. They will tell you a little bit about those countries. So like love and arts and croissants with cafe au lait, and obviously it's all very stereotypical in terms of what it's referring to. But I think I was about to say, I thought that each of the broadcasters was going to be talking in a slightly different voice, because I was just like, we spoke to the German one, and the German one was very much speaking in something that sounded like German. She's got Well, Schnei, those sorts of sounds, but obviously the rest of the broadcasters speak in that manner as well. It's totally fine, totally get it. You don't really want to mess around with giving all the broadcasters a different sound, but that would have been a bit of a fun touch, really. And I mean, I don't know whether thinking back to it, I think you do actually need to talk to the broadcasters. Or you might not. Doesn't matter, I'm going to talk to all of the broadcasters because I want to show off what they all say, and also gives you a little bit of a tour of the world. Because I very much needed it, because while obviously I do know general locations of places around the world, don't necessarily have, well, know everything. Like, even though I did do geography at school, and even did it at A-level actually, so college. I did an English degree for 3 years, kind of completely removes all stuff that wasn't integral to the degree, so my math skills went down the tub and all that sort of jazz. So my geography skills went down as well. Obviously I'm still know where roughly everything is, it's just sometimes when you get to the specifics, or like the more, how shall I put it, the more obscure countries, that's when it becomes a little bit of a problem. Like, I know about Tuvalu, I'm pretty sure that is a country because it was on Pointless, but I would never be able to point out where Tuvalu is on a map. There are a few more obscure ones that I'd be able to do, like I know where Andorra is. It's obviously not on this map, but that's probably one of the few I do know. It's really bad. It's even worse when, like, it's... if you ask me to point out where all the countries are in the UK, I could give you a rough approximation of most of them, but, well, most of the bigger ones. But then, as with most people, it gets a little bit messy when you start to go into the small places. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Welcome to the Primetime Kingdom. Would you like to watch today's special programme? Hell yes, we would like to. It'll stop me from sounding like a complete and utter div.
것인가 맨날 멋있다 알고 있어 문이다 그 사람 낫다 영웅을 문이다 맛이 모르기다 돈을 얘기했다 모욕해서 대책을 세웠다 나락해서 살고 간을 빼먹었다 돈을 얘기했다 모욕해서 다 알고 있어 문이다 대책을 세웠다 나락해서 살고 빼먹었다 많은 것이다 다른 분이다 그들의 휴대해서 와서 분이다 다 다른 분이다 그들의
The infinity of space. The pitcher throws the ball. Because I love you. Drink.
I told you this game was going to get weird. I told you it was going to get very, very weird. So, the way that this fight works is that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the World is, well, basically, you need to know everywhere in the world as best you can, otherwise you're not going to stand a chance during this fight. There is a time limit that will count down. What will happen is that TV Dinnah will move from studio to studio, and he will give you hints as to where he is located. You've got to use your knowledge of what you've just learned from a few seconds ago to figure out where the hell he's going to be. So, Piazza San Marco, so that should be, I believe, Italy, the Tower of Pisa. So make sure that you go into the Tower of Pisa hole. If you go into any of the wrong holes, then you will regret it, because stuff will happen and it'll be a disaster. When you find the right hole, this will happen. You'll get things trying to come in and stop your farmers from digging, but as long as you send in your 4 hard-working farmers, they will completely obliterate it. And then TV Dinnah will appear, and you have a brief amount of time to actually get in there and cause damage, shall we say. You can only, I believe, do it's about a fifth of his health at once, so it's a bit of a pain, and the fight's going to take as long as it does, no matter what you do. But it's still, it's a fun fight, because it's something that's very different to everything that we have faced before. And as you progress through the fight, TV Dinnah will start to try and trick you into where he's located. So that can be very interesting. Very, very, very interesting indeed. So it's a case of you've got to wait until he finally settles on where he's going, because what he'll do is he'll say, "No, I'm having a joke," and that's how that will go. So apparently his appearance is similar to the Teleheads monster from The Raw, which is a book by Emma Clayton. Obviously his name sounds like TV Dinnah, that's the pun. When he talks about where he is in the world, he says The Hitchhiker's Guide to the World. Obviously that's a reference to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, amazing book series. He seems to exist only as a TV signal and never appearing in person. All interactions with him take place in his TV world, so it's all very strange. And TV Dinnah also makes multiple references to Big Brother from obviously George Orwell's book 1984. This includes his comment of "War is peace, peace is war," and also it includes the fact that the eye, that is the iconic Big Brother eye essentially, and him saying, "I am looking at you, looking at me," which obviously a reference to how Big Brother watches people via the TVs. So that's all great. Now, I believe there are obviously a variety of different tracks during this fight. I think, not sure, but I think they are all in some form related to Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, but I cannot be 100% certain of that fact. But as you can see, I'm doing quite well during this fight. And I can't remember whether I managed to get it done perfectly. It's a fun fight to be able to say, done it perfectly. But obviously it does mean it goes on quite a while, it does, and that's not necessarily the best thing that you want to be happening in a fight, of where you can't, where you are basically on a set time limit. It's one thing that I've never always been a huge fan of, but I suppose for a fight that is as unique as this one, I'm totally fine with it. So he's definitely talking about Russia right now. Obviously he mentions Russia, but he's not in Russia. This is where he's going to start tricking you. So he's getting a little bit cheeky. So yep, okay, we are fine going to Greenland. And obviously, at the end of it all, he will say exactly where he's located, so really, you can just wait, but if you want to get the fight done a little bit quicker, then it is just a case of going and digging as soon as you know where he's located. And also, just all those hardened soldiers, he doesn't stand a chance. It's great. I think that we are actually going into his final phase. So that's lovely to find out, isn't it? Can't remember whether it is quite the final phase or whether we've got a little smidgen after that. No, I think it is. So he could be bloody anywhere. So that certainly sounds like Australia to me, but he's not there. So, right, where next? I want to try and figure this one out. So, that's definitely Russia again. Did you decide to pop over there? No, of course he didn't. You couldn't find me. I'd quite like to find you. So... this is... Easter Island. And at this point there's not really enough time left for him to change his mind again, so he's definitely located there. And yeah, you guys, far too slow. Ridiculously far too slow. And yeah, see you later, TV Dinnah. You really did not stand a chance, mate. Not in the slightest. I've watched too much TV to suffer against you. You never stood a chance, mate.
Son fils.
명불문이다. 대책을 세웠다. 나랑 피해서
So, we are victorious! Oh, it's a lovely feeling, isn't it? Pick up all of our lovely treasure. Whilst we're here, might as well pick up these art pieces. Why the hell not? Beautiful! And I think that just about sums up everything that we can do here right now. Indeed, so let us free the princess, find out who she is, and go and celebrate our glorious victory. Because that was just smashing.
Amor, que je de toilette. Abre-me tudo aqui. Sorry.
And oh boy, it's getting on there. Yeah, it really is the love den. Bloody hell. But yes, we are that bit closer to world domination. Beautiful. Without a single person dying. Perfect.